I thought I had everything I ever wanted, a wife I loved more than life itself, our newborn son cradled in my arms, and a life I finally believed was safe. But life has a way of tearing the illusion apart. One night, a letter slid under our door, a letter with a name I had never heard, a name that belonged to the man who once held my wife's heart. Suddenly, every smile she gave me, every word she whispered, felt like a lie. I realized that the life I thought was mine was built on secrets, and that the man from her past hadn't let go. He was watching, waiting, and threatening to take everything from me, my wife, my child, my peace. And in that moment, I understood that my fight wasn't just for love, it was for survival. I never thought I could feel this level of love, not until I held him for the first time. My son's tiny fingers curled around mine, and I felt something I didn't even know was missing. "He's perfect," I whispered to Emma, my voice shaking. She smiled softly, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "He's all ours, Daniel. You did great." I laughed, but it came out hollow. "I didn't do anything. I just held him." Emma chuckled, a warm, comforting sound. "You held him like a father should." For a while, everything felt real. The nursery, the soft sunlight filtering through the blinds, the gentle scent of baby powder and her perfume, it all seemed like a dream I never wanted to wake from. Later that evening, I noticed her phone buzzing. She glanced at it quickly and slipped it into her pocket. "It's just a work thing," she said. I nodded, but the unease crept in. "Okay, you sure?" "Yes, I'm sure," she replied, kissing my cheek. "Don't worry so much." I wanted to believe her. I wanted to drown the feeling that something was off. But the next day, she disappeared for nearly an hour without telling me. When I asked, she waved it off. "Just running errands, Daniel. Nothing important." Running errands? At 8 p.m. Something didn't sit right. I tried to shake it off, telling myself I was imagining things. Maybe it was just paranoia. Maybe I was exhausted. Then, that night, it happened. A soft slip under the door, barely noticeable. I bent down and picked up a folded envelope. The handwriting was elegant, unfamiliar. I opened it, and my heart skipped. "Daniel, remember June 12, 2018. Don't forget what we agreed. D." I froze. June 2018. I don't know any D. I don't know what agreement this is about. Emma walked in, smiling. "What's that?" I held it up. "Care to explain this?" "Who's Daniel?" She laughed softly, almost dismissively. "Oh, that? It's nothing, really. Just an old friend, don't make a big deal out of it." "Nothing?" I raised my voice. "You didn't tell me about him. Or an agreement. Or this," I waved the letter. "This date." Emma's smile faltered. I said, "It's nothing, Daniel." "Really? You're overthinking." I wanted to believe her. I wanted to put it down and act normal, but I couldn't. Something in my chest tightened. Panic. Curiosity. Betrayal. "I can't just let it go," I said quietly, almost to myself. "I need to know." Emma crossed her arms. "Daniel, you're letting your imagination run wild. You've got your son, your family, focus on that." I looked at him, sleeping peacefully in his crib, and felt a sharp pang of love and protectiveness. "I will," I whispered, mostly to him. Then I turned back to her. "But you'll tell me eventually. I need the truth, Emma. I can't live in half-answers." She sighed, running her fingers through her hair. "You don't have to know everything right now. I promise, it's harmless." Harmless. The word echoed in my mind, but it didn't calm me. Harmless. I didn't believe her. Not entirely. Later, I sat in the nursery, watching my son sleep. Every tiny breath, every flutter of his eyelids, felt precious and fragile. And with that fragile life in my hands, I realized how vulnerable I was, not just him, but me. I wanted to protect our family from anything, including secrets I didn't yet understand. I glanced at the letter again. The name, the date, it gnawed at me. Something about it whispered danger, a shadow creeping into the light of our perfect life. Emma called from the hallway. "Daniel? Are you coming to bed?" "I'll be there," I said, folding the letter carefully and tucking it into my pocket. But I knew I wasn't going to bed. Not really. Not until I understood. My perfect life had a crack. And I could feel it widening. Something was coming. Something that would change everything. And I had no idea how much, or how soon. I couldn't stop thinking about the letter. Every time I closed my eyes, that name, Daniel, haunted me. I kept asking myself, who is he? What does he want? "Emma," I said over breakfast, trying to sound casual, "can we talk about last night?" She glanced up, spoon paused midair. "About what?" "The letter," I said, keeping my voice low. "The one with Daniel's name." Emma's eyes flickered, and she quickly looked away. "It's nothing, Daniel. I told you already." "I know you said that," I replied, leaning forward. "But it feels serious. You were scared." "I wasn't scared," she said sharply. "Stop imagining things. You're making it bigger than it is." Her defensiveness hit me like a punch. "Emma. I need the truth. I can't ignore it." She looked down at her coffee, fidgeting. "You wouldn't understand if I told you." "Try me," I said. "I'm your husband. I have a right to know." She sighed and shook her head. "Daniel, he's just someone from my past. Someone I thought I left behind." "Someone? Why is he sending letters now? Why a date from 3 years ago?" My voice cracked. Emma's silence was louder than words. My stomach twisted. "Emma, please. I can't explain everything yet," she whispered finally. I didn't want it to come back either. I swallowed hard, feeling helpless. Then how do I protect my son if there's something dangerous out there? Emma didn't answer. She left the table quickly, leaving me staring at my half-eaten breakfast and my racing mind. That afternoon, I called Liam, my best friend from work. I needed to hear a rational voice. "Hey, man, what's up?" Liam's cheerful tone did nothing to calm my nerves. I think Emma's hiding something. There's a man named Daniel, a letter, some date." I ran out of breath. "I don't know what's real anymore." Liam's tone softened. "Okay, slow down. Let's think. You've got your son, you've got her. You can't just assume the worst." "I can't not assume it," I snapped. "She's scared, defensive, and this Daniel keeps showing up, somehow." "Have you talked to her calmly?" Liam asked. "I tried. She won't tell me anything." I ran a hand through my hair. "I feel like I'm losing her, and maybe my son, too." "Maybe you're overthinking," he said cautiously. "But, if you're that worried, maybe check her phone. Just to be sure." My stomach sank. That was a line I swore I'd never cross. But the fear of Daniel. I couldn't ignore it. That night, while Emma slept, I quietly grabbed her phone. I tried not to shake as I unlocked it. There it was. Messages. Cryptic, short texts from D. "Do it tomorrow. She's not ready. Don't fail me." I dropped the phone. My heart pounded. "What the hell is going on?" I whispered. Rage, confusion, and fear collided. I couldn't sleep. Every noise outside made me jump. And then, through the blinds, I saw it, a car parked across the street, headlights off. A man sat inside, watching. My pulse doubled. Emma. I wanted to yell, but she was asleep. I grabbed the baby monitor, shaking. This isn't just a name, this is real. I tried calling Liam again, but my hands were trembling too much to dial. I whispered to myself, who is he? What does he want? Minutes felt like hours. I watched the figure in the car, frozen. My son stirred in his crib, tiny hands stretching, and I felt a wave of protectiveness unlike anything before. Emma stirred in her sleep. I wanted to shake her awake, demand answers, but I knew it would only scare her, and maybe alert whoever was outside. I sat in the dark, holding my son close, staring at the street. My mind spun, Daniel, letters, cryptic messages. My wife's secrets, my helplessness, and the danger looming over us. Every instinct screamed at me, this is not safe. He's not just a memory. The car's driver didn't move. Just sat there, watching silently. And I realized that tonight, my perfect little life had a shadow. A shadow that I couldn't ignore. And I wasn't sure if I would survive what was coming. I couldn't sleep. My mind was a storm of questions, fear, and rage. I needed answers, and I knew Emma had been holding them back. Emma, we need to talk. Now, I said, standing by the living room window, my hands shaking. She looked up from her phone, startled. Daniel, calm down. What is it? It's Daniel. Who is he? Why is he threatening us? I stepped closer, voice rising. I found the messages. Emma's face paled. I didn't want you to know. I thought I could handle it myself. Handle it yourself? I shouted. Emma, this isn't about handling it. This is about our son. Our family. She sank onto the couch, covering her face with her hands. I thought I had. I cut him out years ago. He resurfaced when you came into my life. I didn't ask for this, Daniel. I froze. Cut him out. So he's an ex. Why didn't you tell me? Tears welled in her eyes. I was scared. He's dangerous. He wanted money, control. I couldn't risk you or our son. I sank into a chair, my heart heavy. And I'm supposed to just trust that he's gone. That nothing will happen. Emma shook her head. No. But I promise, I'm doing everything I can. I rubbed my face. Doing everything you can. I saw him outside our house, Emma. Watching. Waiting. I won't pretend I'm okay with that. She whispered, I didn't know he'd come back so soon. I clenched my fists. Then tell me the truth. Every detail. Names, dates, everything. I can't protect my family if I don't know what we're dealing with. Emma hesitated, then nodded. His name is Daniel. He was my first serious boyfriend. When we broke up, I thought it was over. But he never let go. After you came into my life, he wanted leverage. Letters, threats, he wants money and control. I felt bile rise in my throat. Another man holding part of her life I could never touch. So he thinks he owns you. No, she cried. I'm his past, not his property. But he's clever, manipulative. I was afraid to tell you because I didn't want to drag you into his mess. I paced the room, heart racing. Afraid? Emma, we're already in it. He's out there, and he knows about us, about my son. She reached for my hand. I didn't want this, Daniel. I swear. Please, be careful. I let go of her hand. Careful isn't enough. I have to do something. I can't just sit here waiting for him to make the first move. Emma looked at me, alarm in her eyes. Daniel, please, you can't confront him. You don't know what he's capable of. I know enough, I said firmly. I've been watching, tracking. I'll follow him, figure out his next move. I can protect us. She shook her head, tears streaming. You don't understand, he's dangerous. Promise me you'll think about your son first. I promise, I said, though my promise felt hollow. I had no intention of backing down. Not now. Not ever. Later that night, I slipped into the dark streets, following the trail I had pieced together. My hands were steady, my mind focused, though my chest pounded with fear. I had to see him, Daniel, with my own eyes. I found him outside a cafe, leaning casually against the wall, phone in hand, laughing as he spoke to someone. My breath caught. This was the man who had haunted Emma's past, who now threatened our present. He was confident, sharp, every bit the threat I had imagined, and more. I ducked behind a lamppost, observing him. Then I noticed the papers in his hand, documents about me, my home, our schedules. My stomach churned. He knew more than I realized. Everything he had, everything I feared, he already had access to. A chill ran down my spine. He smiled, glanced around, and for a moment, I could have sworn he was looking straight at me. I whispered to myself, he knows. He knows everything. My anger surged, but so did fear. One wrong move could cost my family everything. And yet, I couldn't stop. I couldn't let him win. Emma's warnings echoed in my mind. Be careful, think about your son first. I clenched my fists, silent but determined. I will protect you both. Whatever it takes. And in that moment, I realized the fight had already begun. The man from Emma's past wasn't just a memory, he was a shadow over our lives, and I had just stepped into the darkness to face him. I couldn't turn back now. I couldn't stop replaying what I saw at Daniel's secret meeting. Every word, every gesture, everything was a clue. I needed leverage. I needed control. My family's safety depended on it. Emma, we have to be careful, I said, pacing the living room, my hands tight into fists. She looked at me, anxiety in her eyes. Daniel, he's dangerous. You can't just go after him. I know, I replied, voice steady. But sitting here waiting isn't helping anyone. I need to use what I've learned. We can turn this around. Her hands trembled slightly. I don't know if I can watch you do this. What if he hurts you, or the baby? I knelt beside her, gripping her shoulders. I won't let that happen. Trust me. I have a plan. We just have to stick to it. She nodded slowly, fear still shadowing her face. Okay. I trust you. Just, promise me you'll be careful. I promise, I said, though every instinct screamed caution. The next night, I positioned myself near the abandoned warehouse where I knew Daniel would meet his contacts. My pulse raced, adrenaline sharp. I watched him approach, confident, unaware that I was observing. I stepped out of the shadows. Daniel. He froze, then turned slowly, a smirk spreading across his face. Well, if it isn't Emma's husband. I wondered when you'd show up. I'm done watching you threaten my family, I said, keeping my voice calm but firm. This ends tonight. Daniel laughed softly. Threaten? I've done nothing but remind you of reality. And you think you can stop me? I don't think. I know, I replied, letting my hand rest on the pocket where I kept the documents I had gathered. I know who you are, your methods, your contacts. I know everything you've done, and what you want next. And I have proof. His smirk faltered slightly, eyes narrowing. Proof. I stepped closer, meeting his gaze without fear. Yes. Proof that your little games are over. I've alerted the authorities. They're watching, Daniel. Any move you make against us, and you'll regret it. He chuckled, but there was tension in his shoulders now. You think you can intimidate me with police? You think I don't know how to handle them? You underestimate me, I said, voice rising with determination. I've spent months studying you, anticipating your moves. I know your weaknesses. And right now, I hold all the cards. Daniel's lips pressed into a thin line. You're bold. I'll give you that. But boldness can get you killed. I'd rather risk myself than risk my family, I replied sharply. You've taken enough from Emma. From us. Not anymore. He took a step back, scanning the area, and for the first time, I saw real caution in his eyes. You've changed, he admitted quietly. The husband I thought I could scare, isn't the same man anymore. I've changed, I said. And I won't stop. Stay away from my family, Daniel. Leave us, or next time, there won't be a warning. He studied me a long moment, then finally nodded slowly. This isn't over, Daniel. You'll see me again. And when you do, don't think you'll be ready. I didn't flinch. I'll be ready, I said firmly. I watched him retreat into the darkness, tension in his every step. When he disappeared, I exhaled slowly, feeling a shift I hadn't felt before, power. For the first time since all this started, I felt in control. Emma had been right behind me, silently watching. You did it, she whispered, her hand clutching mine. I did what I had to, I said softly, holding her close. We're safer now, but we can't relax. He's not gone forever. I know, she said, resting her head against my chest. But for now, for tonight, I believe in you. I stroked her hair, my mind still sharp with strategy. Daniel might retreat, but he wouldn't stay down for long. And I had to be ready, every second, every move. My son stirred in the nursery upstairs. I thought of him, of the life we were trying to protect. My anger, my fear, my love, they all mingled into determination. I had the upper hand now, but the fight wasn't over. And I would not fail. Not him. Not Daniel. Not anyone who threatened my family. Tonight, we were stronger. Tonight, I had the power. But tomorrow, Daniel would return. And I would be waiting. The house was quiet. Too quiet. I checked the locks again, double-checked the windows. Emma hovered nearby, wringing her hands. My son slept peacefully, oblivious to the storm that had passed. It's finally over, Emma whispered, almost to herself. Is it? I asked, voice low. I mean, Daniel's gone, but, I trailed off, unsure if relief was allowed. Emma stepped closer. Yes, for now. He won't touch us anymore. I promise. I studied her face, reading every line, every shadow of fear. Emma, you never told me everything, did you? Her eyes filled with tears. No. I wanted to protect you. And him. I was scared, Daniel. I didn't want to admit how much danger we were in. I ran a hand through my hair. Scared doesn't excuse secrecy. We're supposed to be a team. A family. I know, she said softly. I know. And I regret it. Every day. I didn't know how to say it. I swallowed hard, emotions clashing inside me. Love, anger, betrayal, and relief. I followed him. I confronted him. I made him back off. But Emma, you need to understand, I can't pretend nothing happened. She nodded, biting her lip. I understand. I want to make it right. I want us to be safe. I want to trust you, and I want you to trust me again. I sighed, sitting on the couch, my son cradled in my arms. He stirred slightly, a tiny yawn escaping his lips, and my chest ached with protective love. I don't know if trust can just snap back, I admitted. It's complicated. But we have to try. For him. Emma knelt beside me, resting a hand on my arm. I'll do anything to rebuild that trust, Daniel. I swear. I looked down at my son. You know, when I held him for the first time, I thought I had everything. But I didn't realize how fragile it all was. Now I do. And I won't let anyone, or anything, take this from us again. Emma's hand moved to cover mine on the baby. I know. I feel it too. I love you both so much. And I'm sorry for hiding my fears, my past. For making you feel helpless. I tightened my grip on her hand. I forgive you. Not everything, not yet. But I forgive you enough to move forward. We need each other. We can't live in the past forever. Her lips quivered. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for staying. For fighting. For being you. I managed a small smile, though my heart was still heavy with the memory of Daniel. We fight together now. Always. And if he, or anyone else, ever comes back, we face it as a family. Emma nodded, tears glistening in her eyes. Together. I rocked my son gently, feeling the warmth of his tiny body against mine. You know, he doesn't know what's coming. He doesn't know we're stronger than the fear he tried to plant. She smiled faintly. I can see it in you. In us. We're stronger. For a moment, we sat in silence, listening to the soft breathing of our child. The weight of the past lingered, but it was lighter now. I realized forgiveness wasn't instant, trust wasn't automatic, and love didn't erase fear, but they could coexist if we chose to nurture them. I'm scared too, I admitted quietly. Not of Daniel, but of what the past can do to us. How easily secrets can hurt the ones we love. Emma leaned her head on my shoulder. I'm scared too. But we're here. We're alive. And we have him. That's enough to start over. I kissed the top of her head, my hand stroking her hair. Enough to start over, but we'll never forget. That's the lesson. We protect what matters. We fight for it. And we stay honest, even when it hurts. She lifted her face to mine, eyes shining with relief and love. I will. I promise. I looked down at my son again. We have a long road ahead. But as long as we have each other, we'll be okay. We'll be stronger than any shadow from the past. Emma whispered, stronger. I nodded. Yes. Stronger. And tonight, I'm not letting fear control me. I'm choosing love. Choosing family. Choosing him. I glanced at our son, and you. She smiled, tears spilling freely now, a mixture of release and hope. I love you. I love you too, I replied, finally feeling the tension in my chest ease just a little. And we'll face whatever comes next. Together. Outside, the night was quiet. The danger had passed, for now. But I knew Daniel's shadow would linger. Still, as I held my family close, I understood that life was about choosing strength over fear, love over regret, and hope over despair. Tonight, we survived. Tomorrow, we would rebuild. And I would never let go of that truth again.